Hi, and welcome to our National Parks Business Plan Internship informational session. We're glad you found us. My name is Stephen, and I'm a management analyst with the Business Management Group of the National Park Service. Our mission is to strengthen the long-term health of the national parks by helping leaderships make strategic decisions based on data and analysis. I'm here with my colleague Maria, and we're excited to talk to you about one of the ways we achieve this mission, the Business Plan Internship, or BPI program, where graduate students such as yourselves basically serve as management consultants for our parks and programs. This program is an excellent example of a public-private partnership, and we're proud to deliver it with our partners at the Purposeful Growth Institute. I've been with the NPS for about 6 years now, and I was a past BPI consultant in 2015. As a consultant, I was placed at Mammoth Cave National Park, and I enjoyed my summer so much that I decided to join the NPS as soon as I could. As I mentioned, I'm here with my colleague Maria, and so Maria, I'll pass it off to you to introduce yourself.
Thanks, Stephen. Hi, everyone. My name is Maria. I am also a management analyst with the Business Management Group. I was a member of the BPI class of 2020 at Pearl Harbor National Memorial in Honolulu. And also, like Stephen, loved my experience. Was so excited to join the NPS. I joined right after graduation from grad school.
All right, let's get into it. So this info section is organized around answering the following 3 questions. What is the National Park Service? What is the Business Plan Internship? What makes a good BPI consultant? And then hopefully by that point, you'll be asking, how do I apply? So we'll give you that information as well. Also, just want to let you know that the NPS and Purposeful Growth Institute will be holding a series of additional live sessions throughout the fall. So alumni panels, other web-based info sessions, etc. You can always find up-to-date schedules on their website, purposefulgrowth.org. So getting into it, I imagine most of you are familiar with the general concept of national parks, but maybe less familiar with the agency that manages them. So the National Park Service is a mission-driven land management agency. We work for the federal government, and we've been preserving our natural and cultural resources for over 100 years. Shown here is our mission, taken directly from the Organic Act that established us as an agency. We are to preserve unimpaired the natural and cultural resources and values of the national park system for the enjoyment, education, and inspiration of this and future generations. So we're here for the long haul. Some by the numbers, we host approximately 300 million visitors each year to our parks. We operate on an annual budget of about $3 billion, and economic impact studies find that this investment generates nearly a quarter million jobs for local economies and about $27 billion in local revenue. So the National Park Service includes the management of over 420 sites and covers more than 84 million acres. So I've listed here all of the different designations that we work with and more. So obviously this map is way too small for you to read everything. The point is all that green stuff, that is us, including lakeshores, parkways, preserves, national parks, national historic sites, etc. You get the picture. And we also have programs that are based either in parks, regional offices, or Washington, which are focused on supporting agency-wide initiatives like climate change resiliency, social science, historic preservation, etc. So those are just some of the examples of who your clients might be during the business plan internship. So with that, I will turn it back over to you, Maria, to talk through what the BPI program is.
Awesome. Thanks, Stephen. So now you've heard a little bit about the National Park Service. Let's talk more specifically about the business plan internship in detail. So the business plan internship, or unsurprisingly, what we call BPI, is an internal management consulting service for the national parks. So our consultants are selected from top graduate students of business, public policy, environmental management, or other fields to work in 2-person teams at national parks or program offices across the country to complete a specific project related to strategy, finance, operations, or a variety of other topics. And the primary goal of the program is really to promote the long-term health of our national parks by helping improve data-driven decision-making and strategic management. So the work that consultants perform really does help inform key management decisions and solve pressing operational challenges for our parks. So these are super real, very timely projects, and they really help continue to improve operations at the park, region, or national level. In addition to this goal, we also want to attract talented and passionate people like you into full-time positions and leadership roles throughout the NPS. So successful completion of the internship qualifies you for non-competitive hire into the NPS. So if you'd be interested in joining the NPS after graduation, you'd be strongly positioned to do that. Over a quarter of our 2018 and 2019 classes have been placed in roles within the service. And 2023 is our 25th anniversary year. So at this point, the BPI program is highly regarded throughout the service and receives great support from our leadership, which you can see a quote here from the former comptroller of the NPS who helped establish the BPI program that captures how important it's been to us. Every year, BPI consultants hold briefings with senior executives across the Park Service, so you do have an impact on the future of our organization. And up next, we'll talk more about how we're preparing for the summer and how we'll help prepare you for a successful summer. So we do ask a lot of our interns. These are high-profile projects that you will own from start to finish, and you'll have a lot of autonomy to set the direction and the execution of that project. But we do work hard to prepare you for a productive internship and summer. So I'll talk through a few things we do to help set you up for success. So before the summer starts, we work on project selection. So in addition to having a competitive process for consultants, we also have a competitive internal project selection process. So parks and programs are submitting project proposals to us and we select the strongest ones. And we're really looking for well-defined project ideas, strong park and program management buy-in, and a track record of implementation on that team. We also will prioritize high impact projects, particularly where the analysis you're doing can be scaled up or transferred across the entire service. Then we meet with park staff and begin initial research and data gathering to give you a jump on the project so you can hit the ground running once you get to your project site. And we'll draft detailed scopes of work and timelines to help guide your summer work. We also carefully match consultants with each other and with the specific projects, looking at your skills and experiences, work and personality styles, as well as preferences. Then during the summer, we empower you for success by first holding 1 week training. And at that training, we build cohort with the rest of the consultants through social activities. We'll dive into NPS operations and finances, help prepare you for interviewing and engaging with park staff. And at the end of the week, we'll bring in your project champions from your client site so you can meet them and work closely to launch your project. Typically, this training is held in person at a park. In 2020 and 2021, we held virtual trainings. And last, throughout your summer, you'll not only have day-to-day support from your project champion, but the assistance of a project manager from a member of our team, the business management group, in helping to develop analysis, interpret data, manage your work streams, review your deliverables, and otherwise troubleshoot. So you don't necessarily need to have experience in this type of consulting-based work to be successful over the summer. And next, we'll talk a little bit more about what types of projects we deliver. So the traditional product of the BPI is a business plan, which you might have gathered from the name of the internship, which is a 3 to 5 year strategic operating plan for a park unit. And these plans serve both as internal management tools for parks, as well as a way to communicate externally with partners and stakeholders. Over the years, we've evolved to take on different types of projects. So consultants will typically tackle more specific projects, such as commercial services strategies, targeted operational or financial analysis, potentially related to fleet, partnerships, revenue management, or even marketing related projects. So lots of different potential options on the table. And with that, I think we're going to talk about project locations from last year. So 2022 had 8 great project sites, which you can see on the map here. And there was a range of projects that delivered value to parks and programs. A couple of examples include a strategy to expand electric vehicle charging stations at Golden Gate National Recreation Area and nationwide, a playbook to strengthen co-stewardship with tribal nations in southern Arizona, a strategic plan at Cuyahoga Valley National Park, and a visitor use management strategy at Harpers Ferry National Historical Park. And I won't get too deep into the details of what each of the projects were, but definitely tune into some live sessions being held this fall where we will have alumni and past BPI consultants who can tell you more about their projects. And I think with that, I'll transition it back to Stephen.
Got it. All right. So I'm going to talk through kind of what the BPI experience looks like from the consultant's perspective. So just want to be clear on the onset. It's not all time hiking and time outdoors. You will be spending a lot of time in an office that looks very similar to this one, doing quantitative analyses, financial, personnel, operational data, looking at historical trends, all of those sorts of things. But a unique part of this internship is that you will be also required to get out and speak with people, understand what the day-to-day life looks like and the operations of the National Park Service are. So that means speaking with a lot of folks. It means perhaps getting to know the resources, going on a cave tour with your project manager and your co-consultant. Um, Also, then, kind of getting to know what the culture is like in the Park Service, which is represented by this picture of Joe putting on the flat hat in front of the arrowhead, starting to feel like he fits in with the culture and understands the context of the work that we do. At that point, you'll work with your co-consultant. You'll pull out some insights and draw and synthesize what you've heard, and then kind of set a vision for the rest of the summer and what you want to deliver, as represented by Marco and Tommy here with their project manager, Lindsay. You'll do some more analysis in Excel or otherwise before finally reporting out to your project champions, as well as senior leadership about what you've learned and your decision support for them. And then you can celebrate in the park with your co-consultant, as Laurel and Sarah are doing here. So to kind of transition what that experience looks like to what it looks like to be a good BPI consultant, this is a very unique internship, and quite frankly, it's a challenging one, but very rewarding. So you'll be working in teams of 2 to 3. You may be working in a very remote location. You may be working in a very urban location. Regardless, you will definitely have some imperfect data, and you'll have to deal with the realities and complexities of working for a big government agency. But that said, you're helping to drive change in a large organization, which brings its challenges and rewards as well. So participants who are motivated by the mission of the National Park Service definitely do better in these conditions. And when I talk about being passionate for the NPS and its mission, does not mean you need to be an NPS junkie who can list off, the scores of national parks that you've been to. What it means is that you kind of understand our role, our mission in being stewards for these important places and stories. And so we look for people who care about passing those places and stories on to future generations. So whether it's Yellowstone, our first national park, or one of our newer civil rights parks, we want to make sure we are being as inclusive as possible, getting a wide diversity of perspectives and backgrounds, and ensure that the stories we tell are representative of the country. And if that sounds good to you, then perfect fit. Love the passion for what we do. What else makes a good consultant? So obviously this slide tells what we're looking for: passion, being entrepreneurial, analytical, being good project managers. You're going to have a lot of autonomy over the course of the summer. And so being sure you're being proactive, communicating what you need from your project manager, and communicating what you hope to deliver by the end of the summer. So all of that stuff kind of combined with some flexibility and humility, and that makes the perfect BPI consultant. Just for case in point, here is the class of 2022. We had 17 consultants last year, working on 8 different projects. So a lot of different degree programs represented. So we had obviously some business degrees made up the majority, but we also had public policy students, students working in social work schools, business schools, urban planning schools and programs. So pretty diverse backgrounds in terms of degree programs, as well as professional backgrounds. So folks coming from education, business, consulting, government, military backgrounds, nonprofit management, you name it. And then just geographically spread all across the country. So Boston College, BU, Georgia Tech, Harvard, Cal, Michigan, Texas, Washington, and Yale rounded out the different schools we drew from last year. So Maria, I'll turn it back to you to take us through the program requirements.
So yes, let's wrap up and cover the details like requirements, logistics, compensation, and how to apply. So first, the requirements you can see listed here. The first one is you must be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. You must also be a full-time graduate student with an anticipated graduation date of December 2023 or later. So still have a quarter or semester to go after completing the internship before your degree is conferred. You also need at least 2 years of professional full-time work experience. You need to be available for our program dates, which are June 3rd to August 18th, 2023, and you need to have a valid US driver's license. A little bit more about logistics. So you can see here the class of 2022 at their week of training at Acadia. The first week of the internship is training. You can see there's June 3rd to June 9th, 2023. And then you'll be sent off to your project site and spend 10 weeks there executing your project. You'll be working in consultant teams of 2. You'll have an on-site project champion who represents sort of your client. And you'll also have a project manager from the business management group, our team, to help support you throughout the summer. A little bit more about compensation. It is $825 per week or $9,075 total for 11 weeks. You will be provided housing. You'll also receive reimbursement for travel to and from the training site and off to your project site. You will have access to a vehicle for work-related travel, but keep in mind NPS and PGI don't provide transportation for your daily commute to and from your work site. So having a personal vehicle can be a big help depending on your park or project site, but it isn't a requirement. You also receive per diem during training and work-related travel. You'll receive that eligibility for direct hire into the Park Service after you complete the internship and graduate. And then you also get a great experience spending time on site at a park or program office and getting to know those resources and the people who work for the Park Service. And with that, I'll let Stephen tell you more about how to apply.
All right, thanks, Brianna. So at this point, we'll talk through what it looks like. So we'll ask you to submit a resume, an application questionnaire, and 2 references by the deadline. So this year we're going to have 2 deadlines. The priority deadline is December 16th, 2022. The standard deadline is January 3rd, 2023. And the difference there is we do offer interviews, final round interviews, and positions in the cohort on a rolling basis. And so you'll want to kind of circle that December 16th date on your calendar, get your application in by then so that you can kind of get a jump on that whole process. If you're in the midst of finals, then we do keep it open until after the holidays so that you can submit your application afterwards. But again, definitely recommend hitting that priority deadline. Once you're in the system and kind of work your way through our interview process, final live case interviews will occur from late January through February. We'll have more webinars about what that looks like, so stay tuned to that. And then park placements are made after the cohort is finalized. So we'll make you an offer to join our BPI class, and then we'll figure out where everyone's going based on skills and interests. So to submit an application, check out that website, purposefulgrowth.org/NPS-BPI. That's where you'll want to go to check out the interview process and submit your application. So thank you so much for joining us. As one last reminder, again, check out that website, bookmark it. You'll want to look for the dates of additional live sessions and hear from BPI alumni themselves about what they did over the course of the summer from the Purposeful Growth team. So thanks for me and Maria, and we look forward to reviewing your application in the fall.